Can we simplify this rational expression made up of two quadratic expressions? If we look at the numerator, it's a quadratic expression because the degree of the variable is 2. And the denominator is a quadratic expression because the degree of the variable is also 2. Remember, degree is the highest power of the variable. It can be simplified using factorization methods. We start by factorizing the numerator. This numerator, if we look at it, we see in both terms that x is common. So we bring out x. When we take out x from here, we are left with 1x. When we take out x from here, we are left with negative 14. So this expression factorizes into x minus 14. Now let's look at the denominator. The denominator is x squared minus 16x plus 28. X squared minus 16x plus 28. It is a complete quadratic expression. Now we can factorize it either using the quadratic formula or we use the factorization method and so on. So I'll prefer the factorization method. We need to look for two factors of 28 whose sum will be negative 16. Okay, so which are those two factors of 28 whose sum is negative 16? It's clearly negative 2 and negative 14. And so we're going to factorize this using the process wherein we'll replace this negative 16 with negative 2 and negative 14. Remember, the 16 was multiplied to x. Okay, now let's open the parentheses. Let's open the parentheses. We have x squared plus negative is negative multiplied to that x, so it's negative 2x, negative 14x plus 28. Okay, and so all right, so we've considered the first two terms and later on the next two terms. In the first two terms, we see x is common. We'll factorize out x. We'll have x. We'll have negative 2 here. In the next two terms, we see that 14 is common. So if we factorize out 14, we'll be left with negative x. We'll be left with positive 2 here. All right. Now, we have x minus 2. And up there, we have x minus 14. It will make sense if we have x minus 2 and x minus 2 here. To be able to have x minus 2 here, we'll need to put this as negative so that this will become positive, it will become negative. All right, so we'll have x into x minus 2. So now instead of positive, we'll have negative 14 into, this one now become positive x, this one become negative 2. Okay, we can always check to see if we have the same expression up here. If we open this parenthesis, negative 14 times x, you see it is negative 14x, what we have here. Negative 14 times negative 2, remember negative times negative is positive. So it becomes 14 times 2, which is positive 28. So our work is in order. Now we've gotten x minus 2, so we'll continue our factorization process. X minus 2 is common, so we'll write it out. X minus 2 is common. Now when we remove it from here, we'll be left with x. And when we remove the same x minus 2 from here, we're left with negative 14. Okay, so this is the factorized form of the denominator. And this one is the factorized form of the numerator. Now, let's rewrite this rational expression using the factorized form. So we say, therefore, our original expression becomes x into x minus 14 all over x minus 2 x minus 14. At this point, we now see that x minus 14 is common, so it can cancel out. And we are left finally with x all over x minus 2. This is the reduced form of that rational quadratic expression. Remember, we cannot go ahead and continue to say x cancels and x cancels here. That is not possible, it's not correct, it's not right.